Hey guys, if you feel bad about the amount of blunders you're making in your games, this video is gonna make you feel better. I'm gonna show you the 10 most amazing blunders made by top masters, including the world champion Magnus Carlsen. First, we need to understand that a blunder is a critically bad move, bad enough to change the expected result that the game could have with a normal and good play. Let's go with the list. Christiansen was white and world champion Anatoly Karpov was black in YKC 1993. In this position, Karpov could have played something normal like bishop c5, and the position is more or less equal, maybe very slightly better for white. Instead of that, Karpov played here bishop d6, and this is a blunder. Here is white to move, white is winning. If you want, you can pause the video. The way to win for white here, and the move Christiansen played, is queen d1. After queen d1, white is attacking the knight, also attacking the bishop. Both pieces are hanging unprotected. At this point, Karpov is going to lose one piece. That's why he resigned in move number 12 in this game. Petrosian was white and Bronstein was playing as black in a candidates tournament in 1956. In this position is black's turn, and Bronstein played here knight f5. He's attacking the queen, so a really good move for white here is queen c7. And this position is very good, probably decisive advantage for white. Even when the material is equal, white pieces are too active, the king is a little open, and there are many weaknesses in this position for black. Well, instead of moving the queen to c7, Petrosian didn't see the threat, or maybe he forgot the threat, and he just played here knight g5. Of course, this is a big blunder. Here, Bronstein just took the queen, and he just won the game because of this big mistake. Deep Fritz is white, and Vladimir Kramnik is black in 2006. In this position is black's turn. There is a checkmate threat, so a good move for black is king g8, escaping from the mate, but also getting a tempo, attacking the knight on f8. This angle should be a draw, since black has a pawn majority on the queen side, and the pawns are advancing a lot. So at some point, white should accept a draw by giving some perpetual check on the king side. Instead of that, Kramnik played here queen e3, and of course this is a big blunder. He lost the game here. White just played here queen h7, checkmate. Saemisch was playing as white and Capablanca as black in 1929. In this position is black's turn, and the Cuban champion could have played something like castling, and this position is going to be fine, maybe slightly better for white, but there's a very good plan with bishop a6, knight a5. It's a famous plan, putting pressure here on c4 for this kind of positions, and it's very well for black. In this position, instead of castling, Capablanca played bishop a6, and this is a big blunder. It's white to move here, white is winning, I will say it right now. Saemisch played in this position queen a4. He's attacking the bishop, he's also attacking the knight. When the bishop goes back to b7, trying to defend both pieces, there is this move d5, there is a pin, so this is just winning for white. As a curiosity, the story tells that at this point, when Capablanca was playing this game, both his wife and his mistress got into the playing hall, and it was his turn. He shocked a little when he saw that, and he just played the move bishop a6 here, a big blunder. World Champion Magnus Carlsen white, Levon Aronian black in 2012. In this position, Magnus played bishop a4. He wanted to trap the rook and get some material because of this. But this is a big blunder. In this position, Aronian could have played rook takes bishop, and after pawn takes rook, then knight takes pawn, and then he's threatening checkmate here. The only move to stop that mate is rook g1, and then this black to move, and there is a really nice checkmate in 2. I will say it right now. The move black can play here with checkmate in 2 is queen takes h2. After king takes h2, then rook a3, and this is a nice mate with knight and rook. Instead of rook 8 f4, Aronian blundered here, and he missed a really good opportunity to beat the world champion. He played here bishop c3. He explained later that he thought that after rook takes bishop and knight takes pawn, there could be some check over a8, and he thought the king should have to go up, and then there could be a check, a fork, getting the queen. That's why he did not get into that line. But the problem is that he missed the bishop blocking on f8, and then it should be winning for him. Chigorin is white and Steinitz is black in 1892. In this position, white has decisive advantage. Chigorin just had to play something like rook takes b7. They have a knight up, so it's going to be winning for white. Instead of that, he played bishop b4, a big blunder. Then Steinitz won the game with a typical mating pattern we have studied in the channel, and it is the blind swine. Rook takes h2, and then rook d, g2, dash checkmate. Chandler was white and Susan Polgar was black in 1987. In this position, white has 2 pawns up, so they should be winning the game with a good play. However, it is black's turn, and Susan played this tricky move, knight h6. There are some ideas with the wrong color bishop endgame, a rook pawn promoting on a dark square, and a light square's bishop. But white doesn't have to capture that knight. White can just play here h4, and the endgame is going to be winning. It's still a little tricky, but it's going to be winning for white. Instead of that, Chandler blundered here, and he just played pawn takes knight. He said, well, after king takes pawn, I just play king f7. I'm stopping black king from going to h8. I'm protecting my pawn with the bishop. But there is a surprise here, and it is that black doesn't have to capture the pawn. They can just play here king h8, and this is a theoretical draw. This is the wrong color bishop endgame. The fact that white has another pawn here, or even more rook pawns over here, does not change the result at all. Firouzja was white, Magnus Carlsen was black in Altibox Norway Chess 2020. Here is white's turn, and white can get a draw even when they have a pawn down. All they need to do is to keep distant opposition all the time, or regular opposition if they can. So the right move here is king d2, 3 squares in between, and it's going to be a draw. White is going to be safe in this endgame. However, instead of that, Alireza played here king c3, and this is a big blunder. Here Magnus played king c5, and this is just winning for black. The idea is that now black has opposition, and black will be able to capture the pawn. After king d3, king b4, and black will make progress, and will be able to capture that pawn and win the endgame. And this is a game between 2 world champions, Magnus Carlsen as white, Viswanathan Anand as black in World Championship 2014. This position is white's turn. Magnus played a big mistake. He played here king d2, and this is going to be losing because black can play knight takes e5. Even when the pawn is protected, the rook is hanging on g4, so white probably needs to capture the rook on g8, but then there is this in between, knight takes c4 check, and then they can capture the rook later. Even if the king comes to d3, black can play another in between, knight b2 check again, and after the king moves, then black can take the rook. This position is now much better for black, and they could probably be winning this endgame. Instead of that, Anand played in this position the move a4, and of course this is a blunder. He missed his opportunity, and the game was winning later. Here Magnus played king e2, and he won the game later, many moves ahead. Beliaski is playing as white, and Johannesen is playing as black in Linares 2002. In this position it's white's turn, and this should be a draw. The material is equal, it's a queen's endgame, so if nothing special happens, this is going to be a draw. However, something special happened. Here Beliaski blundered and played the move king a4, and this is going to be winning for black. Here Johannesen played the move queen b8. This is just checkmate, and he won the game because of that. If you guys have any question, let me know in the comments. Check out this video over here, I'm sure you will enjoy it. Thank you, like, subscribe, see you on the next.